America, FBI and CIA agents, and fellow cult members. Welcome to Culture Club USA. I'm DiBRAVA. On this episode of Culture Clips, Rachel Maddow gives her educated opinion on Donald Trump's pick to lead U.S. intelligence services, Tulsi Gabbard. Now, is she really qualified for this position, or is she just Donald Trump's DEI hire? Well, let's check it out.
Is that everything shrivels in government other than the will of the leader, right? So you don't necessarily put a Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of HHS because you're hoping for great things from HHS. I mean, Matt Gaetz, among all the other things.
Do you hear what she said about RFK Jr.? First of all, I mean, you don't put him in charge of our HHS, which is the health stuff, because you're hoping for great things. As if he isn't so well-versed in that arena. I mean, he spent literally years, decades studying, researching, and, our food administration is a mess. And the drug administration. We all know that. But unfortunately for us, they're paying her salary right now, so she's got to say what she just said. You get that, right? I digress.
On all the other things we can say about Matt Gaetz, he has explicitly proposed abolishing the Justice Department, not specifically just abolishing the FBI and the ATF, but talking about abolishing the Justice Department. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard as
abolishing the I mean, first of all, Rachel Maddow has a lot of nerve. I mean, first of all, you could tell she's just like talking about Matt Gaetz. She does not want Matt Gaetz anywhere near that position. Okay, Russia. The FBI gave me the information. I mean, come on, Rachel. This is an example right here of her just being so deep into her own career and so indoctrinated and so brainwashed and such a part of the system that she doesn't even realize what she's saying on television to the actual people right now. You get that? Scary.
FBI and the ATF, but talking about abolishing the Justice Department. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, as the Director of National Intelligence, the idea that Tulsi Gabbard, in a normal circumstance, could get a security clearance to be like a Walmart-style greeter at any U.S. intelligence agency, let alone get past the security barriers.
A Walmart-style greeter? First of all, who is Rachel Maddow? Okay? What makes her an expert on who should be appointed to these positions? I'm just curious. I mean, again, we did listen to her with this Russia hoax that she was totally wrong on. I mean, what have you done in your career, Rachel? What have you ever done, actually, aside from spew the narrative that the deep state operatives who are your bosses tell you to spew? See, she is just not used to the U.S. government, not having control. She's used to the government being big, being in total control of us. Get it? Donald Trump's about to come in and give a lot less government. He's about to drain the swamp. See, she's part of the swamp. She can't even believe what's happening before her eyes. Crazy.
Let alone get past the security barriers, is insane. So you do that because you want the worst for these agencies, because you want the worst for the U.S. government, because you think that the U.S. government is worthless.
Because it is worthless. She's right there. The U.S. government right now is worthless. It is absolutely worthless. It doesn't care about the people, the citizens. Your party brought in millions and millions of illegals that have destroyed cities like New York, which I am in, caused all kinds of crimes. Oh, I mean, how are we as taxpayers, just off the border situation alone, okay, the catch and release executive order or bill that Biden and your people put in, Rachel, right off the bat. How are we? Is the government worthless? Yes, it is. Just off the border alone, the government's worthless. Because if you can't protect your own citizens, that makes you worthless. That right there makes you worthless.
list. That's part of consolidating power, to make the U.S. government nothing other than the leader and people who will do what he says. And there not being any repository of expertise, let alone, just general day-to-day know-how anywhere. So it's a sort of, as Steve Bannon used to say, it's a sort of Leninist project, right? Destroy the state.
Here she goes with the Steve Bannon. Is this all you got, Rachel? I think she's really losing it. I think all of these people are losing it. This woman has the audacity to sit here and speak in this tone when her own party has a congressman currently presenting in Congress and on news organizations like CNN a shadow government to go against our current president-elect's cabinet choices. Is she nuts? And you're sitting here telling us that our government is worth something? No, that's why it's getting cleaned up. That's why the swamp is about to get drained. That's why you're about to be fired. See, that's what this is really about. You're about to be fired, okay? She's got to stick up for Big Pharma, can't ever admit anything that RFK is saying to be true because they, again, pay her salary. She is so deep into the swamp that she doesn't even know how to breathe underwater at this point. She's suffocating. And we're watching it.
General day-to-day know-how anywhere. So it's a sort of, as Steve Bannon used to say, it's a sort of Leninist project, right? Destroy the state. This is the cabinet that you nominate to not to run the U.S. government to do anything, but to destroy the U.S. government, so that the U.S. government can be fundamentally reimagined as something much more like a unitary, authoritarian or autocratic, for lack of a better term, system.
Really? Let me bring that back. Listen to what she's saying. as if your party has not acted like dictators. Excuse me. Autocratic. Are you nuts? Rachel, one man in power. Biden made mandates on these vaccines. Okay? That's pretty authoritarian to me. Okay? She's nuts.
Run the U.S. government to do anything, but to destroy the U.S. government, so that the U.S. government can be fundamentally reimagined as something much more like a unitary, authoritarian or autocratic, for lack of a better term.
She should have just said like Putin, because that's what she means. That's what she's saying here. She's saying that, any ideas that the conservatives have, even though you're talking about President Trump, he even had the popular vote. Shall we look at the electoral map? Okay. Really? The people have spoken, Rachel. The people have spoken. You just can't believe it. That's the problem here. These people actually believe a lot of the narratives that they say. They're indoctrinated. Rachel Maddow is one of them. Okay? Oxford, Ivy League. They've been pushing, she's brainwashed. I think she actually believes what she says. That's why she went on and on and on about the Russia. God, when she found out that it was all lies, she felt pretty dumb, right? How can anybody take these people seriously? How can MSNBC still be in business? It's nuts.
Better term system.
Deconstruct the administrative state, ma'am. Let's get your lingo right. Rachel Maddow. Tulsi Gabbard is a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. Okay, she served over in, outside of Syria or wherever we send the Army today. So she has the security clearance, ma'am, and it has nothing to do with Walmart. And if I was you, ma'am, I would watch what you say about people.
Now, this man is not to be played with. This is Steve Bannon right here. Okay, he sat in jail for a hot minute. See, they talk about Donald Trump being a dictator. The Democrats have weaponized politics, literally putting political opponents in prison for nothing. Okay? Is she kidding? See, the thing, in my opinion, is she's afraid she's next. What's the difference between Rachel Maddow and, let's say, Roger Stone going to jail? You see how that works? And watch the warning Steve Bannon is giving her right now.
In, outside of Syria or wherever we send the Army today. So she has a security clearance, ma'am, and it has nothing to do with Walmart. And if I was you, ma'am, I would watch what you say about people. When you go after and smear someone who's put their life on the line when you've done nothing. You sat on your ass up there at your big house in Connecticut, you know, with your friends and your elitist. You've done nothing for this country. Came out of Stanford. All you've done is try to destroy this country and the people in this country. And you're not going to sit there and say a hero like Tulsi Gabbard. Are you going after her because she's a woman of color? Is that what it is? Think you can talk like that because she's a woman of color?
Ooh, that was good. That was good. A woman of color. See, Steve Bannon is using their game against them. That's a game the Democrats play. Now, Tulsi Gabbard is Samoan, okay? She's from the South Pacific. So, yeah, Rachel, are you being a racist right now? Sounds pretty racist to me. Is that why you don't think she's fit for the position? Is that why you're calling her a Walmart greeter? Because of her color? Rachel? Because she didn't go to Oxford with you and Bill Clinton? Rachel? You see how that works? Now look, here's the thing. This is one of the things that I took from this. Steve Bannon, do you see how he's talking to her? He's saying slander. Okay? Slander. Now, President-elect Trump already has, I believe, 2 lawsuits. I know one is CBS, and I believe, don't quote me on this, the other one is ABC for slander. Okay, see, we're not going to, this day and age of these organizations like this, these news organizations just making up lies, it's about to come to an end. These platforms silencing us, it's about to come to an end, okay? It's about to come to an end. And so is Rachel Maddow's career.
Or she's not a lesbian? Is that the case?
He didn't just go there. He didn't just go, hey, Steve, don't forget her Maine property, her house in Maine. You got the Connecticut one down, but, you know, don't forget the Maine.
Or she's not a lesbian? Is that the case? What did you say? You said she couldn't get a security clearance? She got a security clearance, lady. She got a security clearance, and she earned that security clearance by serving her country, something you have not done.
And she served the deep state, not the country, but the deep state. Here comes, he's accusing her of slander right here. Okay. Tulsi Gabbard does have security clearance. You see, these Democrats, the extreme leftists like Rachel Maddow, they just say anything. That's how she got herself in trouble with the Russia stuff. She's doing it again.
Country, something you have not done and your ilk have not done. Look, let me just cut to the chase. The American people heard your crap for 8 years. And all those people on that network heard it for 8 years. Weissman, every night and every day, shifty shift, all of it. Heard it. And the American people rendered a verdict. And in their judgment and their wisdom and all your thing of anti-democratic and fascist and everything like that, the American people voted for this. They voted for this. They threw you guys out. Both houses of Congress, the executive branch. And they knew by doing that, we would also take over the courts. So we're sorry if we're going to run this for 50 years, but I tell you what, we commit to the American people, we're going to run it a lot better than what you ran. An out-of-control Leviathan that was set up to take away the liberties and freedom of a free people.
That's exactly what they did. They took away the liberties and freedoms of free people because we're not free right now. Okay? We're not free. We have no free speech. We have no rights basically anymore. Donald Trump is draining this swamp. God help us.
So no, ma'am. She earned her security clearance by serving this nation on foreign battlefields. What have you done? What have you served? Your whole crowd over there say, what did you serve? What did you do? going to be so fabulous when we start taking this thing apart brick by brick and hearing them squeal. But what I would do, ma'am, is lawyer up. Lawyer up.
Oh, you heard it. You heard it. What I would do, ma'am, is lawyer up. That's a quote from Steve Bannon. What I would do, ma'am, is lawyer up. Lawyer up. You see where this is going? You see where this is going? Okay, people are just not going to get away with this anymore. I mean, unless, of course, you know, Wiley Nichols with his shadow government, okay, comes along and says, hey, why don't we just, since Rachel Maddow was right about the Russia hoax, why don't we just make her Secretary of State, okay, in our shadow government, and Hillary can be in charge of her emails. Oh, and guess what? Meanwhile, Bill and Monica can be head of the foundation for women's safety in the workplace. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, they've lost their minds. They've lost their minds. Well, we'll see where this ends. Will Rachel Maddow still have any respect? Any dignity left? A job? Well, I know one thing. She'll probably still have her house in Maine. All right, I'm DiBRAVA. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.